everybody, welcome back to more RPG Maker MZ tutorials. In this lesson, we will go over how to make a simple introductory sequence for our games. To start, let's make a new map. We're going to do this for our introduction sequence. We're going to name this Intro. Leave all this blank. This does not matter at all. What does matter is that we're going to place an event here that's going to run when we start the game. So we're going to name this Intro Cutscene. And for safe measures, this is going to be on auto run. And we're going to have, the priority also doesn't matter. For this, we're going to make a new event page with self-switch variable A. Oops, that's not it. There it is, self-switch A. Well, I'll tell you why we need that later. Anyway, let's start. Let's start by writing some text for this cutscene. We're going to make this pretty simple and easy to make. How about this? The font might be messing with the spacing a little. But that's okay. We could just change it accordingly. Now, let's add a person talking to this. Let's leave the faces blank. Now, let's make it someone else talking. Yep. All we need is... Okay, let's copy this one, make a pasted one there. What should we name them? Oh, oops, there we go. Now here's the part where I like. This part you can add more to this if you want, and you don't necessarily have to make it exactly like this, but you should make something similar. But you can do this all depending on what story you want to tell. I'll decide to make this into a bit something that we're going to use in next episode. So let's make it so that we can change the name of the character this is doing this with. So we're going to look for the change name. We're going to look for the name input processing for the first character, which is the character we made earlier. Now here's a pro tip when you can name characters. So what I like to do is to add a loop here. Cut this, put it in the loop. Now, next, I'm going to do an ask question. should we name them /n1? That control character displays the name of the first character in the list. Yep, that's it. Now what we're going to do is do a control switch. It's going to do show choices. Yes, no. If it's yes, if we like our name, it breaks the loop. If not, it goes back to enter the name again. Alright, after this loop, everything looks good. Let's use a control character. Now we're going to do this just to automatically advance. As you can see, this backslash exponent symbol will display this piece of text, but it will not wait for input once it's done. It will just immediately go to the next text. So let's start by adding a bit more thing to it. Now let's do a bit of finagling and send our character to someplace new. So what we're going to do is go to transfer player in movement, transfer player to this map here. I'll prepare this for an introductory sequence. And then once we're done, we're going to set the self switch to A. Turn it on, and that's our intro. That's our simple intro sequence. No particular flares, nothing too special. And now next, we're gonna decorate this introductory sequence. Let's see. Oh, nope, that's not it. Let's change this tile set. Let's change it from overworld to outside. Now that we have a bit more space to work with. Let's make a bit of a forest here. I apologize for the random background noises. Okay, now that we have that set up, let's make a bit of a decoration for the area. Let's add a bit more detail. How about a bit of grass, maybe a different grass. Add one of these. Okay, everything looks good. Now we're just going to make a quick event transfer to this map. Now before we begin, let's place our character here, right here. Now, what we're going to do is to make sure that we have the best effect, we're going to turn on Start Transparent, which makes our player invisible. Now, one more thing before we go. Let's go back into this, and then turn our player visible once we get to the new map. So what we're going to do, let's see here. Change transparency. Change transparency off. And now, let's test. Alright, now as we can see, we have these person dialogues. Let's just leave it as nameless, just to demonstrate. As we press no, we go back to the name selection screen. Alright, now everything looks good. Let's just change one little thing about this. Now, we're going to have this wait for 1 second. Let's see, let's look at the control characters. Feel free to pause on the control characters just to see what each one is. Oh, speaking of, in new updates, there's a new function that allows you to insert a control character. See all these? You could wait for... Let's click on wait for 1 second, and then we close the gap, and let's try this again. All right, let's keep going. As we can see, we have control of our character in a new area. But we'll add detail to this in a later episode. For now, we could go around and move around, do stuff. We'll add detail to this all in a later episode. But for now, this is a simple intro sequence, and it will get you pretty far. This is RPG Maker MZ Tutorials, and I'll see you guys next time.